We're here at the Museum of Broadcast Technology in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Let's take a walk across the street. Here's the sign, and let's go inside.
Welcome, welcome. This is a TRT 1B, and it works. It takes about 25 minutes to warm up, but it really does work. Come take a look. It's all tubes.
So Paul Beck, just a little background here, used to be a teacher over at Emerson.
No, I was an administrator.
He was an administrator.
I taught the teachers how to use the gear.
Right. And Paul came after I did. I graduated from Emerson in 1979, and Paul put together with a bunch of other people this whole museum, which is tape machines and all kinds of really, really cool stuff, all kinds of memorabilia. And they're down here in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. And this is just some of the tape machines that he has. And I mean, it's a plethora of stuff. And then he's got all kinds of dubbing racks. And they do equipment repair. And this is their dubbing.
Right. This is the wonderful RCA TCR 100. It was a spot cart machine. It would play little cartridges like this. I can't take the tape out, but it would have a carousel that would select any one of 24 different tapes, player A, player B, so you could play two 30-second or two 10-second spots back to back. It was quite the machine. It's very complicated, it's very pneumatic, it hisses and moans and makes all kinds of clunky sounds. It's frightening.
They later had one that was vertical, right? That was up and down.
They may have, but that was for cartridge, beta cam
Cartridges.
Cassettes, half-inch open cassette tapes, not quad. This is a full quad machine.
Oh, I
with
see.
Two quad heads, whereas the other later version was for the beta cam format.
And now we're going to go upstairs and see all the cameras and stuff.
TK42, if you step this way, you'll notice that the image tubes face the camera operator, and they're bounced off a prism mirror system through a lens that's up in the front. It was the most cockamamie camera design ever made, but there were quite a few of them made, at least 50 or 60 of them in the country. And over here are the TK41s. This is a TK41B. This was at NBCW, what's the Washington station? I forget. Anyways, that's a TK40, which predates the 41. But this was a standard camera for color TV in 1954. What were the black and white ones they had at Emerson before they got the well, that's this one over here. Well, this is a selection of various ENG shoulder-mounted cameras. These would have been used with a portable video recorder. This is a Sony DXE3000. We have here's 3000, it's a 3-chip camera. Over here is an Ikegami HL77, 3 Plumicons. And over here, an HL83, which was a small, very portable camera from Ikegami. This was a Sony camera with CCDs in it as well. But we have a good variety of, a good sampling of all the different portable cameras that we use for news.
So here's a collection of handheld cameras, ENG cameras. You got a TK76A here. We've got another TK76 here. Got a bunch of HL79s. This is an HL79E. Here's a really, really old HL77. A lot of really, really old handheld cameras here, back from when I started in the business.
The beam and the target.
The target, right.
I'll get this. Still works.
When I did...
And this is a what, Mike? Or
craziest thing is
Is it TK11?
when they went to video assist.
Look at that.
Come on over here. We'll hit the target set button, and down it goes. Right here. And then the beam. The viewfinder, just the high voltage sags, so we have to look at the monitor. But after about an hour, it starts to act up like this because there's a resistor breaking down. But this is a TK31 from 1952. We have at least 3 of them. 2 of them work. Well, these take a 5820. I'll let you hold one. Okay, folks, I'm going to demonstrate something for you here. You'll notice that there's a turret of lenses. That's a 35 millimeter lens. That's a 90. That's a 135. And that's an 8.5 or 250 millimeter. Now, why 4 lenses? Well, zoom lenses hadn't been invented. So if you needed to, a director is saying, why don't you step back over there someplace, go out a little further away. So if the director says, I want a close-up of that camera, what did you have to do? You had to do this. You had to move right in. And if you're too tight, you had to pull back. And the one thing you never did was turn the lens when you're on the air. So when you were watching a TV show in a studio with 3 or 4 cameras, it was like watching a ballet because they were constantly moving and constantly, hopefully not getting in each other's way.
So here's some old CRT television sets. And the way they make the picture is with these things right here. These are Plumicon tubes, I'm pretty sure. And these are all the different inclinations of different tubes that used to be inside cameras that used to make images. These here are connection cables. These are what the cables used to be like to connect cameras to the control room. This is an old microphone, and these are actual video tubes that you can see images on. This is a really old one right here. Nice collection of old tubes. And this is a 1954 color television set. We're just kind of waiting for it to lock up. So here's a collection of old microphones. There's some real beauties here. There's an old CBS flag off of a microphone. There's an old NBC snake logo, they used to call it. Here's a couple of other mics and microphone stuff. It's a really, really great collection. So this is their radio room. This is an old teletype. I remember when I first started in the business, this is how we used to get our news. And this right here is an old splicing machine for 2-inch tape. And you would look through this microscope and you'd have to set up your splice. Right here you can see there's that 2 pieces of tape together, and then you'd use a magnetic solution in order to put both pieces of tape together and try to make a nice splice. And over here you've got some old radios. You got a collection of old radios, which are very, very cool, and an old typewriter. I'm sure a lot of you guys will remember those. And here is some old cart machines. That's an old speaker on the top, right over here on the left. And then these are old cart machines. These are how we used to roll commercials and stuff. And then there's a digicart, which came later. And over here, this is an old audio tape machine. And you've got some half-track recorders and players. And over here, this is a record mastering machine. This is how they make records on this thing. It's a record cutter.
I thought that might be it.
These are some old turntables. And then over here, this is kind of what I worked with in college at WECB when I was on the radio, the AM station at Emerson College. These were all of our carts with all of our commercials. We would play them in these machines right here. This was our mixing board. And sometimes we'd roll in some reel-to-reel tape, half-track and stuff. And there's our records. And these would be our turntables that we would play the music on. This is a tube room. And these are all types of tubes that go into amplifiers and television sets and stuff like that. And if you look down here, this is what a TV repairman used to come to your house with. He'd have this all filled with these kind of tubes, and he would replace the tubes in your TV set or whatever. This is an old Mitchell film camera. Pretty awesome. And it's also on a very, very old tripod as well. If you move through here, this is like an old film chain. This was for slides and stuff. These are more film chains. These are some old TV sets. This is an old 16 millimeter camera that they used to use for news gathering. And he's got a lot of other old lenses and cameras here. He's got some old box cameras. This is an old Brownie. He's got some old lenses. This is an old Bolex 16 millimeter camera. He's got CP16s in here. He's got a couple other. This is a Bolio. He's got a lot of different 16 millimeter stuff. Here he's got some old viewfinders. Another Bolex. It's an old sound mixer here. Really a great collection of stuff. Well, I hope you enjoyed our small tour of the Television Broadcast Museum in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. That's just the tip of the iceberg in the video that I shot. But I'd also like to thank Paul Beck and Tom Sprague for allowing us the time to go through their museum. And I want to tell you a little bit about this camera. I spent a good part of my early life in television broadcasting toting one of these around. This is an Ikegami HL79D. I also used the A model and the E and EAL. It's missing the viewfinder, but this is basically what it looked like. This is what I used to carry around on my shoulder. So until next time, I'm Jeff with This America USA saying please watch us, please like us, please share us, hit that subscribe button down below to help our channel grow. And until next time, bye-bye.